Miles from the Border is a 1986 documentary that we watched for our project. It tells the story of two Mexican immigrant siblings, Manuela and Ben, and their lives in the agricultural city of Fillmore, California. And they kind of live in two worlds. They live in a world as Mexican immigrants with their traditional Mexican cultures, and then one as educated young professionals. And it's kind of outside of the norm of what they saw for most other Mexican immigrant children. At one point, Manuela talks about 90% of the other immigrants in her class work in a bra factory, and they actually, some other Mexican immigrants called her a malinchista, which means a traitor for pursuing higher education and adapting a more American lifestyle. And they talk about kind of some of the hurdles that they had to get through as kids in American school system. Ben talks about being put into a kindergarten class as a middle schooler and having people make fun of him and call him stupid because he was older and he didn't understand the language. And he really, throughout his school career, just kind of had to work a lot harder than anybody else. He talked to one of his teachers about taking some college preparatory classes, and they actually told him he was fine where he was. They kind of doubted his intelligence, and he had to prove himself worthy by winning a literature competition. And then once he did, they were like, okay, now you're one of us. But that still was very conflicting for him because he feels like, I still live on the other side of the railroad tracks, and I'm still a Mexican immigrant, but I also am this. So they kind of both siblings are living on that cusp. And then they did have a younger sister as well named Rosa, who got into Yale, and she seemed to be doing really, really well, but had a mental collapse and eventually died. So yeah, but it's a really good documentary. If you guys get a chance to watch it, it really just kind of shows you the discrepancies in the education system for immigrant children, and really how these two siblings kind of live in those two worlds.